Hi, today we'll be covering the Equinix customer portal with this user overview. As you can see, I'm already logged into the customer portal. First thing I want to go over and show you is here in the top left, you'll see this hamburger menu. And when you expand it, you'll see that you're already here in the customer portal. You do have the ability, as long as you have the permissions, to go and visit the Equinix Fabric and Network Edge portal, and also the Equinix Marketplace portal. For Equinix Metal and Equinix Precision Time, these will be the landing pages when you click on these, and you could just go in there and click and sign up for more information and request more information. But this is the hamburger menu, and where, as long as you have permissions, you can navigate between the customer portal, Equinix Fabric, Network Edge portal, and the Marketplace portal. Now here on the orders dashboard, one of the things I wanted to call out to you is any orders that you place, whether you place it yourself, you contact the customer service rep, you contact your account owner, you contact service desk, you'll see all the orders here. Depending, it doesn't matter which order source it's from, but this is where you'll see that. You do have a chance to hover over to see, okay, what are these color codes? Are they work visits, fabric connections, outbound shipments, smart hand trouble tickets, etc. You could also scroll down to see here the orders type and then what the order number is. And if you click on this, you can view the details of your orders specifically. And then you could also have the chance to drop down and look at maybe only 10 orders, 50 orders, contacts and whatnot. So this is really up to you on how you want to take a look at that. From an operations standpoint, you do get a chance to look at your install base data. So if you want to click here, and you could access install base, billing history, smart home support plans, shipments and notification centers. And if you're signed up for it, IBX Smart View. Keep in mind, again, everything is based on permissions that you may have based on what your administrator has given you. And speaking of administrator, only your administrator of your company will see this administration section, and the administrator does have the ability to invite users, give permissions to users, ordering permissions especially, to view specific sections within the portal itself. So whether that's user management, account and security management, and reseller customer management, master administrators do have the ability to control this from what they have. Now, in regards to user management, for you, when you're logged in, you hover over your name, and then you could go in here and click on My Profile. Now, when you're in My Profile, you'll be able to see information here. You could upload a photo, and you could look at your pins if you have stuff set up yet. Now, if you don't have your security profile set up yet, you could go to IBX Security, and you'll have the ability to enroll and fill out your security profile. We do have some videos on this, on what you could follow, but from a standpoint of what's here, you could add your photo, you could set up your IBX access pin, fill out forms digitally, and then you'll even have your own QR code on what you could use to leverage. But again, from here, you could take a look at that and fill out your security profile, and even link multiple profiles if that is something you have. From a permission standpoint, you'll see here, based on what the administrator is giving you, do you have permissions granted or not? But this is something you could take a look at based on, again, ordering, access data, access to data reporting, IBX data center access and smart hand support plan, and any of these other informations that you want. You could also set up your notifications, again, on what you want to get notified on, again, based on the permissions that you do have. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go click on orders and tickets. So if you want to go ahead and place an order, again, if it's a smart hands, it's a work visit, or maybe you want to open up a trouble ticket. We do recommend, especially for work visits and trouble tickets, to do this online. It's quicker. And then if you wanted to place, again, an order for a product, say cross connects, look at network ports, circuits, you definitely get a chance to click on, say, cross connects, and you'll see this guided ordering, and you will get a chance to look at this and follow that guided ordering flow that they have, where you're entering all the A side information. Then you'll go in and enter the Z side, schedule it, any additional details you want to add, customer reference number, then last but not least, your contact information. This is your breadcrumbs or status bar, then along with anything that you fill out. So for example, if I go here, just as an example, I want to click DC11, you'll see here that this is DC11, and then I could go in and click my cage and cabinets and whatnot, and then progress forward, right, as I enter information. But again, from a ordering tickets standpoint, this is where you could do. I'm just going ahead and cancel this now. Now, one of the things too that's really key that we want you to know about is also the reports. So you could go into this report center, and when you go here, you do have the ability, based on permissions, to access specific reports, whether that's on orders, your install base, notifications, details, visit logs, anything you need here. And what you could do is, for example, I have reports that I've already requested. So this is a list of my reports I've requested. You'll see here that these are reports that I put in today, and then I could download it, delete it, and I could even click on Manage Reports. If I go to Manage Reports, I'll see is there any reports that I've already scheduled, set up, and you'll see here that I have reports on orders monthly that comes in. I could regenerate it. I could download it, and this is something that I could access here or even get emailed to me. But from a report center standpoint, this is definitely something you could get a chance to look at. And if you want to look at any, let's say, install base data, you could click this. You could select the locations you want to look at. It could be one or more of your select sites. And as you scroll down, you'll be able to see, well, do I want to look at all product types or only specific ones? Here, I have it all checked out. And then do you want to look at the last day all the way up to the past year, all records? You could even set up a recurrence to where you could do it every year, every quarter, every month, or every week, or every day. And then you could also add another recipient from your company to receive this report. And then from after you go through and look at this report section, I did want to call out here in the top, you'll see here this global search. You do have the ability, and let me just go back to the home page. You can look at orders if you have the order number. You could also look at any IB, install base data, users, billing, and notifications. So if I want to look at users, I could look at myself and see here, I'll type in my name, and you'll see here that here I am, and I could go in, and this is someone where I could set the meeting, set up the information, and make any edits or add permissions to any specific users as a master administrator if I wanted to here, or look at users who are here, right? But yeah, from a global search standpoint, depending on the domain you want to look for, you could look for users, you could look at orders, you could look at anything you want at that point. Now, one thing I did also want to call out is there's this shopping cart on the top right. Now, there's no icons or nothing here. There's no alerts. So there's nothing that's telling me to have a call to action. But I definitely want you to know that based on what you see here, click on the shopping cart, and then notice I'll have saved items. So I could click and expand this. It'll say, hey, you have a Smart Hands install equipment, which I purposely didn't complete. I'll take a look at here, what location, information, what is it? And then I'm going to click on review cart. And as I look here to review the cart, you'll see the information I have here, and you'll see here that I could expand this apart. I could edit this, I could delete it. I could look at more details as I want. So it's really up to me on what else I want to take a look at as I go through this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back home and look at this. Now on the message center part, I did want to call out and show you on the message center, you'll see here that if there's any call to actions that's messaging for you, you'll see that, hey, is there any messages pending for me? Are there any orders on hold? Any storage items as it related to shipments, or even user registrations as a master administrator that you may have that you have to approve? You could even click on notifications to see what notifications you have, and or even reports, just like the one I just showed you guys that I downloaded. So you do definitely have access to this. And if I go back up, I'll see this bell icon here. Right now, I don't have anything, but this is just more notifications as well as call to actions as it relates to the message center that I just showed you guys again as well. Now, going back to ordering a work visit, again, if you guys want to go back to orders and tickets, I focus on the work visits and trouble tickets. You definitely get a chance to click on this and just fill out all the information on what you have here, and you'll see everything that's related to the policies that we do have. So I do recommend, as you guys open this up, take a look at it, look at your location you want to go into. I'll just, again, randomly just pick on some of these sites, cages, and then go into the cabinet, which is optional. But then when I go in here, I could also look at, again, I'm gonna look at myself, and there I am. And then I'm gonna go in and add myself in as a person that's gonna go in and fill out all this other information and put a checkbox and select it. But you'll see the work visit date, start date, end date, and whatnot. So really easy, really straightforward, and something I do recommend. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this and leave. And then lastly, one of the things I just wanted to call out again is if you want to look at, again, your install base data right here, let's just take a look at this. You could see here that you could definitely filter by a location, any of the sites that you guys are in. And let's just say here I go in, I want to go at Chicago, and then I could look at the product types. I could look at cage and cross connect. And then here it'll show a filter, and I could take a look at all this information and expand upon this to see all that information of what my assets are and what they look like. So definitely get a chance to see this and what you have. Um, and then, if there's any support or help that you need, you definitely can click on this support button on the top right. And when you go here, you could definitely go to the portal help center. You could open up a support case. You could request a call back. You could even click on any of these tour guides that we may have with anything available that might walk you through, or at least show you at a high level what you need. But really, the support section is a good place to start. You could click on Portal Help Center, which will then bring you to these areas where you could click on any of these topics and see there might be access to information such as videos or documentation collateral as it relates to this. And here, as you can see, when I clicked on Equinix products, you could see the Cross Connect and Fiber Connect ordering guides, and then you could also see some tips and tricks. But this is information definitely we want you to be aware of. So again, I want to thank you for listening, and we definitely value your feedback. We definitely ask you to give feedback, and we are listening to all that you guys can help provide us so we can give you a better user experience.